All right, ladies and gentlemen, we have a very special guest for you tonight, ladies and gentlemen. You've seen him in the movie Glory Road playing the signature character of Willie Scoops Cager. Not only that, ladies and gentlemen, this man is not only an actor, but he's also been behind the camera directing. He's been behind the camera writing. He does visual effects. He's an all-around entertainer, and you just heard his song right here on the Benet Show. Ladies and gentlemen, it's my pleasure to introduce to you Mr. Damaine Radcliff. What's going on, sir?
Hey.
Hey, Mr. Radcliff.
I like those intros. I watched some of your other episodes, and I see how you introduce everybody, and I was just like, wait, all right, squint my eyes. Let me see how you're going to.
So how you been doing, man? What's going on with you?
I'm good. I'm scratching myself. I have mosquito bites right now, like hundreds of mosquito bites, because I'm in this little tropical area doing this trail type hike in Hawaii.
Oh,
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah, so we're jealous because it's like 30 some odd degrees outside here in Texas, and you up there living it up with shorts and everything.
30 something.
Yeah, 30 degrees. It's cold in Texas. We lost him.
Yeah, he's out in the woods in Hawaii, so I'm going to try and get him back, everybody.
Right on. Let's see what happens now, ladies and gentlemen. All these great things happen right here on the Neighbor Show.
Boy, see, Saints fans need to know how to lose like Cowboy fans.
Hello, sir. Can you hear us?
Yes, I can.
Oh,
There we go.
Goodness.
all right. We're going to get to it. We're going to get to it before we lose you again.
No, I think you're good, man. I just got out of the whole rainforest area.
Oh.
Now this is trippy because I'm literally on a cemetery right now. This is weird.
Maybe the spirits are helping you out.
Right.
I think these are all of the people who died in Pearl Harbor. I don't know.
Oh, wow.
Oh, wow.
Oh, so
Yeah.
you in Waikiki or?
Yes, I'm in Waikiki.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So how did you get started with this whole acting thing?
Okay, I started acting when I was around, I guess, 16 years old. Something I always wanted to do. And I remember I was in the second or third grade, and I saw a friend of mine's. He was in a Fresh Air Fund commercial when we was in the third grade, and when he came to school, all the girls were like, "Oh my God, Jason! He was on TV. He was on TV." And I looked and I was like, well, shoot, I need to be on TV then. And I went home and I told my mom, I said, Mom, I want to be on TV. I want to be an actor. And she was like, well, no, I don't trust the business. So when you get old enough and you're able to do it on your own and, you still want to do it, then go and pursue it. So when I turned 16, I was approached I was doing some BMX. I was into BMX biking. And then these guys came up to me and saw me doing some BMX tricks. And they walked up and said, hey, you want to be in this movie? We have an independent film we're doing, and we need some bicycle stuntmen and acting. And I was like, all right, cool. So that was like my first taste of doing any film work when I was 16. I did a movie called Bicycle Ice Cream, and it was weird. And I got to do stunts, and I got to play this character, and I didn't know what I was doing, but that was my first trip into really, really getting into it.
Mm-hmm.
So how does it, for you, being part of not only an iconic film, but also a very culturally based film that people are still watching today, Glory Road. So how does that, because now it's pretty much a legendary status right now. How does that make you feel?
It makes me feel real good. I was honored to be a part of that. You know how they say when God has something for you, it's nobody can take it away from you. So when I auditioned for that part, it was I didn't even know about the movie. I didn't have an agent. I didn't have a manager.
Wow.
I had a manager, and I was on a commercial shoot, and a dude that I met on the commercial came up to me and said, "Hey man, you tall. Hey, they got this basketball movie that they're doing that Jerry Bruckheimer's producing, but I can't play basketball, but you should probably go out for it." And I was like, "Oh wow, basketball movie? That sounds cool." So then he told me where it was at, and I crashed the audition. And
shout out to crashing the audition.
Yeah, the crashing stuff works. So I crashed it. Me and a buddy of mine crashed it. Actually, we didn't crash it. He crashed it. The day we got up in the morning to go to the audition, my cell phone got cut off because I didn't pay my bill. And so we were supposed to meet at the train station and head over to the audition. And because my phone was off, I thought he just wasn't gonna go because we'd linked up. And then all of a sudden, he came back later that afternoon and said, "Hey man, I went in audition." I was like, "What?" He said, "I got to read, I got to do this, I got to do that, and I think they like me." So I was upset. I was like, "Dang!" But I had to act like I was happy for him. I was like, "Dang!" I was like, "Dang, you got the audition." So then, like a week went by and he didn't hear nothing. But he kept contact with one of the casting associates who kept calling him and let him know what was going on, the feedback. So then he wound up saying they didn't pick anybody. 2 weeks went by, and then I heard on the radio that they was doing an open call again because they didn't find the people they wanted. So they said they was doing a nationwide open call. So that's the point. That was the point I knew I can make it. And then I wound up 6 o'clock in the morning. I was the first person online. It was like 400 people. I was the first one online, and I got to first. We had to play basketball. We had to do all these drills and all these dunks, and I did my thing. And when the casting said, "Hey man, we want you to come back tomorrow," I knew right then. I said, "I'm gonna book this," because I knew everybody there was just basketball players, and I was the only one that actually had acting, some type of acting talent. And then I went home. My mom drilled me. She told me how much I sucked. She told me what to read. She was like, you want to be honest, have your mom work with you in anything. She'll be brutally honest.
Right on.
She said I sucked. And then finally I got it together. And the interesting thing is I've been documenting ever since that time. I have footage of this since my audition. I had all of that on tape that I've been documenting all the way up until today. And I documented that, and I wound up getting it. And then, I think a week later, I got a call that told me that I booked it, and I was heading to New Orleans.
Well, that's
for 4 months.
Well, that's all right, man.
Just like that.
I was really excited to have you because I was like, I didn't know your name per se. I was like, hey, I got Willie Cage coming on the show Monday and everything like that. Yeah. So everybody was really hyped about that. So I do appreciate
most people can't pronounce it.
Did I pronounce it right?
Damaine.
I'm sorry, Damaine Radcliff. Okay.
Damaine, not Damon.
Oh well,
not Damien.
Well, I was
like the main man.
Yeah, Damaine. Yeah. Well, we from Texas, so we got that little.
Oh my God.
We got that little Southern dialect going on.
For sure.
So I see that you are a very accomplished actor. What made you go behind the camera? Because I'm looking at IMDb. You have close to 5 directorial credits. You have 5 editor credits, 2 writing credits, and that trailer that will be shown on our next break, Up North, is off the chain.
Oh yeah, I was behind the cameras before I was in front of the cameras. When I was young, my mom gave me a big VHS camera, and that's when I first got a bug into filmmaking. And so I should just film everybody in the neighborhood, and I was doing all of these sketches around the neighborhood. I had this very popular sketch called Double O Negro, which is like a black take on James Bond, and it was very, very popular. And that was back when there was no editing on camera on computers. So we actually have to shoot in sequence, in perfect sequence, in the right cuts in order to make it. So when I transitioned to video software, it was just it was easy. I was like, oh wow, I get to shoot everything out of sync and put everything in order. So that's kind of how I got into production. Then as I got older, then I went to New York Film Academy and just honed my skills and just really focusing in, you know what I mean? And now I'm getting bigger opportunities today because of everything, all the work that I put in back in the day.
So what was it like working with Channing Tatum?
She got a thing for this dude, man. Yeah, gosh, she's got it bad too.
What was it like working with my future baby daddy?
I get that question all the time. All the time. You know what?
Wow.
We just did a Step Up reunion, anniversary reunion interview where we talked about that, and they asked me about that. I actually I helped Channing and Jenna get married. Like I hooked them up when we were filming, and they got together, and then they wanted to get married, but then when they started to go through the divorce, all the fans kept calling me, hounding me, like, you broke them up. You have to get them back together. You got to get them back together. I was like, my man, I'm not getting in that marriage. I can't get in that.
Right.
Yeah, I'll have to
get
chill.
in that.
So, what is going on with Up North? Because we're going to show the trailer right after the interview, sir. So, how did that even? I mean, from what I saw, I was amazed. I was like, wow, this is going to be really dope. What is that about?
Up North is a 1-hour drama about the New York State correctional system, the justice system, and it's basically the theory of one kid going into prison for a crime that he didn't commit, entering a world that he couldn't even imagine, and what life is like for him. And then at the same time, you have one older inmate leaving prison after serving 25 years for a crime he committed, entering a world that has drastically changed. So you have one in, one out, and the world that surrounds them. So basically, it's it's what we would call the New York version of what The Wire could have been if if it was in New York. You know what I mean? In some areas. But we dig deep on the justice system and the correctional system, and we don't point fingers and blame anybody, but we show what the realness of how life happens when you grow up in these systems, and what it looks like for you, guilty or not guilty. You know?
Well, I can dig it. Now we played your single before your interview. How did that come out? I mean, what's going on with that? What's going on with your music career?
The music, man. My music artist name is Bruce Main, and just something that I've always had a love for. You know, before I was in acting in the early days, I used to work for Jay-Z and Rockefeller and Dame Dashes as one of the legendary videographers that captured all of the footage that you've ever seen of Rockefeller. So I was part of that two-man crew that traveled the world with these guys and filmed everything that went on. So I filmed the marriage and the beginning stages of Jay and Beyonce, to the breakup of Jay and Dame, to I've captured everything you could possibly imagine with Rockefeller. So that I've had the music bug. My brother's a producer, and just my family came from the music world. So that was just something I've always done. So I released a single called Cool Kid that's out now on iTunes and Spotify and everywhere.
It's dope.
Dope. It's just literally just talking about being a cool kid, and how you don't have to be like nobody else. Just be yourself. It don't matter what age, what height, what size, what color, anything. You it doesn't matter. You can do whatever you want to do, and that's basically what the song emulates, and that's what people like about it.
Well, what is next for Mr. Radcliff?
Well, right now I'm currently shooting a travel series in Hawaii. I have a series on called Budgeting, with starring a buddy of mine, Thomas Reed, and myself, where we travel the world and we try to teach urban people how to travel on a budget. So we're starting season 2 right now.
Because some of us sure need it.
Yeah, I remember I grew up in the Bronx, and I have friends who was in the Bronx that never been to Manhattan.
Damn, that's like going to the next town,
right?
And exactly, and it was because they didn't think it was possible. They just thought they think everything's so expensive, and I'm like, I'm out here in Hawaii, and I'm at Costco's eating hamburgers at Costco's. I'm like, you can travel, and you don't have to be at the resort. You got to travel like a tourist, but you have to live like a local. That's the key to traveling on budgets. And aside from that particular show, I just sold a show right now to Snapchat that I'm going in production on very shortly. I have a Harlem Shake dance series that I'm doing right now with Snapchat that they just greenlit. So I'm in the small digital space also. So yeah, there's a couple of the things that I'm working on.
Good deal.
Well,
well, hold on. Let me make a plug here. You need a brother to travel with you and meet you in some of them spots to bring in a lively spirit to some flavor.
I do, and we going to like Tahiti next, and then we'll be hitting up Bora Bora. So we just traveling all around, man. I would love to have more brothers come on and share these adventures with us, man. We would love to. We would love it.
Cause I got my passport, and I can fly anywhere you can go. I can get there.
That's all you need. That's all you need, man. And the show up north that you've seen, that you showed the trailer to, that's actually in negotiation stages right now. Currently, we have a deal set up right now with it. That's being closed. That's being worked on.
Well,
so yeah, man. That was independent. That was an independent television show.
Dig it.
Fully funded independently, shot, produced, directed by myself, and and now we got a series order that we're about to get going away for a full season.
Well, let me personally thank you, because that encouraging email you sent me, man, was really, in this business is full of rejection, is full of politics and drama and stuff like that. But that little 4 or 5 sentence that you sent me, man, really, really made my day, man. So I thank you for that.
No, and I mean it. Like everybody just needs some type of opportunity, and that's all it takes, no matter what. And what you showed me in the email, I dug deep and I looked at it and I just said, oh, as a director, what I look at when I watch people is look at how serious and how real can they be, how natural can they be. No matter what the part is, I don't care what the production is that you're currently doing that I was watching. I get to look at the individual and say, can this person play the role that I would like them to play? Can they pull it off? And that's what I saw when I saw some of the work you've done. So I would love to bring you in, and you gotta if it was up north, you're gonna have to pull off a New York accent. If you could pull that off and say you gotta say son a few times.
Son.
You gotta say son. You gotta say son a few times, and other than that, it'll be all good.
Well, I tell you what, sir. If you get me an audition, I'll make my way to New York, and I have the strongest New York accent you've ever seen.
That's gonna be hard as hell, man.
I was considering you right now for the Snapchat series, the Harlem Shake series, because we have a role of the dad. I mean, I'm not the dad of the this old, I guess, pimp that the mom's ex-boyfriend comes back into her life and try to disrupt her life. So we have a really cool role that might be available.
All right.
You might want to.
I'm with it.
See what's up with.
I'm with it.
That's like a perfect fit, an old pimp. We blasted on him, man. We blasted on him.
I know. I watched all your other episodes, man. And it's funny because Harry J. Lennox and Eric Alexander, these are some of the people that I grew up watching, and they're icons, to me,
Yes.
growing up. And when I watched everything they said, and it's just how much you guys dug deep and allowed just create platforms for us, because those guys are legends, and I'm still relatively new and up and coming in the game. In Hollywood's, to Hollywood, I'm relatively new. So just opening a platform for me to come and talk to you guys and talk to my people and your viewers and get to, allow people to get to know who I am and what I got going on. I appreciate you guys for that. I really
Absolutely.
do.
Anytime you want to come back, we just an email away, and we'll get you.
Hopefully next time I come back, it'll be you and I. We'll be on set.
Oh, right on. We can definitely do that. So I need a favor. I need two favors from you. Well, actually one.
Okay.
I need you to look into your camera, say your name, and just let everybody know that you're tuned in to the Benet Embry Show.
Say it again, one more time.
If you can just look into the camera, say your name, and tell everybody that they're tuned in to the Benet Embry Show.
What's up, everybody? I'm Damaine Radcliff, and you are tuning in to the Benet Embry Show.
Right on. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Cut. You done good.
Well, sir, we're gonna let you get back on your vacation. We appreciate you.
He working, man. He working. He on vacation.
Yeah, he working.
Yeah, he working.
No. It's a vacation too. I got my girlfriend out here, and we out here having some fun too. Don't get it twisted. But I'm getting some R&R.
So have you been over to Maui yet?
No, I haven't been over to Maui yet. I've been living in Tikiki, and I just actually did this underwater scuba diving thing. Black people don't get in the ocean, so this is the first time I dug deep.
The submarine?
Got to swim with some turtles and everything. Yeah, the submarine thing. It was
That's
so
cool, man. Yeah.
So cool.
Well, you go ahead and get back to it. We'll stay cold here in Texas. Hey, we want everybody, tell folks how to follow you and get in contact with you if they need to.
You can follow me on my Instagram at Bruce Maine, and that's kind of my main way to contact me.
Okay.
Besides going on IMDb, and if you got an IMDb Pro and finding my representations.
Well, sir, once again, we appreciate your time. I'm looking forward to working with you, and I'm serious when I say that, for real. And we want you to have a good time. We'll link up later and everything, but you have a blessed evening. Have some whatever Hawaiian food they got there that I would love to eat, but I'm in Texas and can't eat it. And we'll link up. We'll link up to it real soon.
Absolutely.
All right. We'll talk to you later.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
All right, ladies and gentlemen.